All right. So.
All right. Let's go. Let's get it going.
Okay, perfect. So let me log into my system here, if you don't mind, and we will be well on our way. Oh, okay. Of course, there's going to be. Of course, I'm going to have a login error when I don't need one, right?
Yeah, technical difficulties, huh?
Yeah. Okay. So let me just close out this screen and re-enter it. I had everything live and there we go, ready for last night, and I think what happened was it just.
I got in. When at the time I got in from New Jersey, I was in New Jersey all day long for meetings, so I got in pretty late.
No, I get it. That's 276-535-436. Okay, so this should do the trick. So let me ask you a couple questions real quick while this is loading. So I know, we talked yesterday.
Go ahead.
And
another realtor calling me from Florida.
I'm sure. So the first thing I wanted to do is thank you for taking the time to meet with me, because I know that you're getting bombarded with other realtors. So one of the first things that I want to just kind of go over real quick, I know the property was on the market. I don't, just refresh my memory. Where exactly?
Okay, so the property was on the market for just past 6 months.
Right.
My brother and I bought this property on paper when the City Place was still conceptually, wasn't built yet.
Right.
We bought the unit. We actually bought 2 units. We'll put a deposit on 2 units to give you a little history. And obviously, then the bottom fell out, as you know, 08, 09. So we consolidated, negotiated with them because we were going to walk away, but they didn't want to lose the opportunity. So we managed to consolidate to 1 unit our deposits from 2. We actually bought the lower penthouse and the unit below it. So we retained the lower penthouse unit. And long story short, we negotiated some better terms. And the unit was prepared, rent ready for us.
Mm-hmm.
Per the demo unit, appearance of the demo unit they had, we mimicked that one.
Right.
And we've had in the past 8 years, we've had always been rented out.
Right.
And we decided we bought it. Hold on a second.
Sure.
Avi, you need to go to the second email. I'm sorry, the one with the Zoom. I sent you 2 emails. It says Zoom on it. There's a link. You can just. The first email was just a PowerPoint that Chris sent. You don't need the PowerPoint. Go to the next email that says there's a Zoom in it. And there's a link, and you link in and you go right into it. Download this link. You download the link. Just go on the link. You didn't get a Zoom email? Okay, only one. Hold on a second. Let me find the other email. Okay. Chris, once I open that email, will it go away, or it should be still in my inbox?
Oh, no, it should still be in your inbox.
Okay. Okay, there it is. Okay, hold on. I'm sending it to you again, Avi. Forward. You want to send to the Comcast or to your office, Avi? Avi? office. Okay. And Shifit Avi. Okay, I just sent it. It would say you're invited to a Zoom meeting now. That's what the from Chris. You got it? Okay, good. You see the link? Just hit the link. Okay, well, Avi, my brother David is looking for this. So bottom line is, so it's it's currently rented. We just recently replaced the carpets in the bedrooms, and the common area, living room, kitchen, so forth are all tiled.
Right.
All window treatments are in place. The unit is well maintained, brand new washer and dryer. Some upgrades, glass black backsplash in the kitchen, and so forth.
Right.
And that's about it. The rent is $28.50 a month, which is on the high end, if not the highest in the building, for two unit. And their lease is up March 19.
Okay.
They would renew if we let them. They will not have a problem renewing. They love to stay in unit longer.
Right. Okay. So here are the questions that I have. While it's been listed, so it looks like, and I'm punching up the.
Yeah, we had one offer, and we were $5,000 apart. I offered to meet them halfway, and they wouldn't budge.
Well, that's crazy.
It is.
Now, did it go as far as was the unit inspected, and did it appraise, or was it a cash?
No, it didn't go. It was a cash offer, so it was not contingent on financing.
Perfect. Okay, even better. So wow, that's highly unusual that
I know.
$5,000 away, not be able to get it done. So okay, so just so I understand a few of the, I guess, the logistics of how when it was listed, it was on the market for 143 days. Were you getting a lot of activity as far as showings?
There were a few showings that I know of. That was the only one that yielded an offer.
Okay, so in 6 months you got one offer. It came really close, and it for whatever reason you couldn't make it. Your broker wasn't able to get it done. Okay,
correct. It wasn't close.
Okay, so when it was shown, was the tenant agreeable to showings? I mean, how
oh yeah, the tenants are cooperative. They've been nothing but cooperative, so that's not a problem.
Okay.
And because obviously I assured them that the sale is not, you know, their lease is secure, in other words, so it's not an issue. I'm selling we would sell the place with the secured lease,
Right.
and I thought that was an upside because they were generating roughly $30,000 in income until they take occupancy, and that which I thought it was an attractive. That's why I wouldn't want to not have that. Having the tenant in there is in my opinion, is a big plus.
Yeah, 100%. So you have to find the right buyer, and I suspect what you're looking for is getting maximum exposure and to find exactly what you're looking for, which is the right buyer. Now, the first thing I wanted to do when just getting a sense of why it didn't sell, I wanted to just review a couple of the things as it relates to marketing of the property.
Avi, are you with us still?
Yeah, I'm calling to my.
Okay, well, I have you on speakerphone, so at worst case scenario, you can hear the conversation.
Yeah, I'm hearing some fish.
Yeah, okay. If you are successful to log on, then let me know. Well, I'll know right away.
Yeah, you'll know right away. It'll make a noise and he'll pop up on the screen, right? So, look, the obvious things I want to see. Number one was the property marketed the right way? It looks like you had some good pictures taken of the property. I would do a few things different as it relates to marketing the property. And I'll get into that in depth in a second, but what I notice is missing is there's no video of the property, and the virtual tour that you have there is just really an automated sequence of pictures. Now, to be perfectly upfront with you, if all we were doing with the marketing of the pictures, the video, and maybe the 3D tour was putting it in the MLS, it would look great for this conversation, but the reality of it is nobody would ever see it. So unless your broker's actively marketing and aggressively pushing these marketing pieces, nobody ever sees it. So that's where I specialize. So let me just give you a little brief overview of exactly what we do, just so you have a sense of that, and then we'll go from there. Does that sound good?
Sure.
Okay. So I'll give you a little bit of history on myself. I was a retail stockbroker for 18 years down here in South Florida. 3 years ago, I got into real estate. I partnered with one of the top sellers down here with a different RE/MAX office, sold 25 homes. I outgrew that relationship. So I partnered with RE/MAX Direct. RE/MAX Direct nobody sells more real estate down here in South Florida than RE/MAX Direct, and they've got the systems and processes that I need to ramp up to the next level. So with that in mind, I'll start. So again, I'm with RE/MAX Direct. I offer some guarantees, and the first is such: it's a 1-day or a 24-hour listing agreement. Here's what that means. After 24 hours of your home being on the market in the MLS with me, you wish to cancel the agreement for any reason, you're able to immediately without any hassle, cost, or obligation. You're always 100% in control. We work for you. You're the boss. We believe in accountability. We'll work extremely hard for you for the second you decide to list the property until it's sold. And if we don't, well, you can fire us. The next two guarantees I don't think really apply to you, because all I'm trying to demonstrate by showing you this right now is that we have the tools to facilitate anybody's needs. We've partnered with, because I don't know what solutions I'm going to need to solve the problems, right? I want to be able to offer an immediate buyout. So what does that mean? We would buy the property up front, allow you to rent the property back. Again, we've partnered with investors out there. They come in, they make a cash offer. It's dependent on the condition and location of the property, but to be very frank with you, they're lowball offers. I know you're not looking for that, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time with these guarantees. So I'll move on to the next one. We offer a sold or we buy it. It's very similar. Again, you're not interested in a lowball cash offer, so I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time with this either.
That's not a fire sale.
Right. So one thing that you should be aware of, the guarantees might not work for you, but it's possible they might work for the buyer of your home. Again, I can't anticipate what somebody's needs are going to be. I want to have solutions in place for every possible scenario. So again, I'm not going to spend a lot of time with this. So what does it take to sell your property for the highest possible price in the shortest amount of time with the least amount of stress to you? I call them the 3 Ps: presentation, promotion, and price. Presentation is obviously how your property looks to a buyer in person, to a buyer online in photos and videos, and then to other realtors. Your property is a product that's for sale. It needs to be presented at its best at all times. We would work with you going room by room, giving you our professional opinion on what could be done to ensure that the property is presented at its best. Now, well, first of all, I've seen the pictures. I don't see anything that raises an eyebrow to me that's an obvious flaw that you would need to rectify. That's not always the case. Sometimes I walk into properties that are just totally cluttered and need a lot of TLC. That doesn't appear to be the case here. So promotion. This is how we market and expose your home to the most amount of buyers and other realtors. In pictures, obviously, it's your home's first impression. So these are properties that I've sold in Canyon Trails, which is where I live. As you can see, crisp, bright. If you've got a pool, that's a feature that we want to highlight. Again, all I'm trying to demonstrate to you is we've got a professional photography team that comes in, does an amazing job, takes great pictures, takes aerial pictures. What wasn't done in regards to your mark, now, that last picture, you can't tell. It's a twilight picture. You have to take my word for it. It's an amazing shot. Unfortunately, I'm not so hot with this software, so you just got to take my word for it. What wasn't done for you, and I think needs to be, is a feature video. Here's why. If we were to do an aerial, so most realtors will tell you they're going to do a video, and what it is a sequence of pictures that are put to music. Nobody ever sees it. I want people who are looking at the property online to see what the area has to offer. So in your case, I think an aerial video shot actually does you a lot of good because you're in downtown, right? So, for example, this is what the video I'm about to show you is in West Boca. We started over. I'm not going to spend a lot of time with this, but here's what I'm trying to demonstrate with that. You've got families that are looking in Boca that I want them to see that you're near a baseball field, that you've got there are visually pleasing things there. You've got a lake, you've got a pool. This property was listed with another agent who couldn't get it done. Then it was for sale by owner. They couldn't get it done. We got it under contract in 2 weeks. And part of that is we take these marketing pieces and we push them directly in front of active shoppers who are looking for properties. So putting it in the MLS is great, but if nobody ever sees the video, what's the point? What we do is we boost them, we get them out there, we use the algorithms to our advantage, and we get it in front of active shoppers. So I think a video like this would be useful because, again, you're going to be able to market this to the snowbirds that are up north or wherever they are internationally, and they can see exactly what the visual overlay is of the surrounding areas. And I think that's a major selling point. To not use that, I think, is a mistake. So, oop, wrong screen. Sorry. All right. So we already did this slide, so bear with me here as we work through it again. But did you see the value of the video?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, good. So again, with this I find to be to make a pretty dramatic point. The properties on the left are the same neighborhood, right? The same house, same type of houses. The realtor wasn't using a professional photographer. All I'm demonstrating is if you're going to hire somebody to sell your property, you need to have a professional photography team that specializes in that, and that's what we're experts at. This next slide doesn't apply to you either, because obviously you can't have a for sale sign out in front of the building. If you were able to, I found that a lot of times consumers don't want to make phone calls anymore. So the sign calls that used to be really prevalent don't happen. We provide a sign writer on the sign, which allows, if somebody's driving by the property, they can text the code, they'll receive our marketing. More importantly, we'll get their contact information, and we will relentlessly pursue them until they purchase a property. I'm very aggressive in follow-up. But again, that doesn't really apply to you. So we offer 24/7 buyer information online via text, via phone flyers, and QR code technology. We've got a realtor on call at all times, including evenings, weekends, and holidays, to answer any questions or show your property. Websites. I've got it in here as 95% of home buyers are starting their search online. It's higher than that. It's probably closer to 99%. Your property would be advertised on over 3,000 top national and global websites. You will have maximum exposure. Now, I've mentioned a few of them here. We're on all of those, obviously, but we're literally everywhere. And again, it's not just about being online, but how we expose your property with photos and tours. Again, we advertise on every top national and international website. Your home would be advertised in over 68 countries that have 3,000 plus websites, a combined 60 million views per month. I'm not going to read all of them, but you'd be everywhere.
Okay.
When we can, we use a yard sign. We utilize e-flyers. Here's what I mean by that. We're able to circle prospect your building and surrounding area. What does that mean? I can extract, and it's not a perfect science, so I don't get everybody, but I get a lot of them. I'll get the emails and cell phones of all of the owners that are geographically desirable around your unit. I let them know the property's for sale. I ask if they happen to know a neighbor, if they'd like somebody to be their neighbor. But we're doing a lot of networking to ensure that we get maximum exposure for your property. When I say e-flyers, if we have their email, we send them an email. If we've got their cell phone, we'll do a text campaign where they get our marketing. But in addition to that, we'll also reach out and call them. Social media, we're dominant. We're able to use the algorithms to get in front of active shoppers. Realtor networking, here's what I mean by that. Within our office and our organization, we'll do a weekly meeting where I'll ensure that everyone within our organization knows about the property, is up to speed. Again, it doesn't necessarily mean that we're going to have the buyer in hand, but the more people that know about your property, the more likely it is to sell. In addition to that, I've got a 48-point marketing strategy to get your home sold, which if I haven't emailed it to you already, it's on its way. So I'm curious, at this point, do you have any questions about how we would promote your property? I see Avi.
Avi came on?
I see the name Avi.
Okay.
And he replaced you.
Oh,
Nate, there you are.
Okay, I see Avi, yep.
Are we all online?
Yes, we are.
Okay, good.
Outstanding. All right, welcome. Can you see me?
I'm sorry.
Can you see him, Avi?
I see you.
Oh, good. All right. Can you see my screen?
I can.
Okay, perfect. So the question that I
guess the first question, you looked at obviously you saw the property. You looked at what's your price-wise. Where do you think where we are?
Okay, so I'm glad you brought that
obviously
up. Because
you do realize the caveat that we have 4 parking. There are 10 of them, but we have 4 parking spaces.
You have 4 parking spots. Okay, that's fantastic. That's a selling feature. So look, price is actually the next slide, right? Presenting your property at the right price is going to save you time, money, and frustration, and we'll work with you one-on-one to set the best price to attract the most buyers. The number one complaint I found about the real estate industry is lack of communication. This will never be the case with us. You're going to receive notification the second your property is shown. We use a software package called Showing Time that sends out a survey to the showing realtor as soon as they access your lockbox. We will constantly keep you updated every step of the way. Now, it is critical to get feedback from the other side. So the Showing Time sends out a survey to ask questions. If they don't respond to that quickly, I follow up with a text message. If they don't respond to that, I follow up with a phone call. It's not a perfect science. I don't always get feedback, but I work darn hard to ensure that I do. This is a lockbox. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time with it because I think it's pretty self-explanatory. The one that we use is it's a Bluetooth GPS device. So you have to be a professional realtor who's bought into the subscription to access this box. All that does is provide two things. Number one, better control of data for me, but a further layer of protection for you. The number one concern I found from homeowners is being locked into a long-term contract with the realtor who overpromises, underdelivers, never does their job, doesn't communicate. We guarantee this will not happen with us. We'll do everything that we say we're going to do, and if we don't, well, then you can fire us. So how do I ensure that? We do a one-day listing agreement. It's which after 24 hours of being on the MLS, you want to cancel the contract. As long as we're not under contract, meaning we haven't accepted a purchase contract at any time, you can cancel for any reason without any hassle, cost, or obligation. You're always 100% in control. So why choose Chris Igoe and RE/MAX Direct? We're a full-time, full-service real estate team that works together to get your property sold. We've got 6 offices throughout Palm Beach County. We've sold 15,000 homes since 2008. We're currently selling more than 1 a day. RE/MAX Direct is fast approaching $4 billion in completed sales. RE/MAX, the brand, is the #1 real estate brand worldwide. We've got 90,000 agents in over 85 countries. We receive hundreds of referrals each year from international buyers looking for properties in South Florida. I suspect that's going to be the purchaser of your property. We've got the experience along with the proven systems and proven marketing strategy to get your property sold. And here's how I can look you, well, I can't, all I see right now on the screen is Avi's name written out, but I can look you right in the eye and tell you nobody is going to market your property as aggressively or work as hard for you as me. Here's why. That's my family. If I take your listing, I'm going to spend time and money investing in getting the property sold. I would not do that if I didn't know absolutely I could get it sold. Otherwise, I'd be taking time and money away from them. Do you have any questions before we discuss the market analysis of your property?
Not me, Avi.
No.
Okay, great.
Unknown caller.
Let me just get rid of that.
Sure.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so
salesman calling. You know those salesmen?
I sure do. So the presentation that I've got now is actually the email that I sent to you.
Right.
So
I reviewed that.
Okay, good. So you probably already looked at it a little bit. All I did was import the previous listing to get the stats on your property, and then I went against the inventory that's out there right now. So now this gives you obviously a digital overview. I'm going to skip forward a little bit because it organizes it better for us.
Right.
So right now you've got 6 active listings that are in the building, right? And they range.
I said there, one bedrooms are selling much faster in that building.
Right. Yeah. But I excluded those because they're not apples to apples. Right. So you've got 6 active units for sale, and they range on the low end of 457.9. They go to 525. Right. You've got a pending sale at 495, and then you've got 4 solds that range on the high end of 535. They go as low as 375.
Okay. So if we compare apples and apples, obviously I'm looking at go back. Go to the sold. There you go. Let's stay in the sold for a second.
Right.
The sold LPH 17 with LPH 06. I'm not remembering what's the view on LPH 17. What's the direction of that unit?
Let's go there right now.
Go to that particular unit. What is the? Should tell us what is north, south, whatever it is.
So we should get an exterior view shot of that.
Wouldn't it be listed?
East facing.
East facing.
Mm-hmm.
So okay.
Is that unit?
That's the LPH 17 is east, and we are northwest, I believe.
Northeast.
Northeast. We are northeast.
Yeah, it's facing the.
No. We're not northeast.
Well, do you face the intercoastal or not?
I'm facing City Place.
Okay.
And we can see the ocean as well.
Okay, good. So that you've got a similar.
They're facing the back, the pool, which is facing the railroad track.
Right. I can see the intercoastal from their balcony.
Correct, but you also see the railroad track.
Right. Yeah. No,
which is the problem.
Sure. It's not the best view.
Yeah, they get the lion's share of the noise.
Right.
We are our what I'm trying to establish here, that our orientation of our condo is better than that one.
Right.
And that one sold for 569. If I recall, I just looked at it briefly. You go back to the sell of 5.
No, so that we're talking about LPH 17.
It's sold for 529.
Correct. So they were listed at 569. And
yeah, right. So in taking into, put it this way, if you bring me an offer of and again I'm giving you some information that is private, let's call it.
Sure.
But if you bring us an offer of anything 550 and up, we'll probably very seriously consider it. With that said, at a better orientation, and I know for a fact it's better because of the railroad track and the fact that we have 4 parking spaces, those parking spaces are worth at least minimum $25,000, the additional to me.
Mm-hmm.
And they can rent them out. I've had requests to rent them out for a couple $100 a month, and I've had people request to buy them, and I wouldn't do either because I wasn't going to give the cream on the pie there. So I think I'm waiting for your response on that. I think our strategy of pricing is not a faulty one.
No, I think you're right on target. So this is what I came up with running the comps, not having as much information as you just gave me, right? So I came up with a range of 471 to 535s. Obviously, I didn't know about the 4 parking.
It is noted. It is noted on a listing. You missed it.
Yeah, I did. I clearly did. And then additionally, I wasn't 100% zoned into the orientation of the property. So I think you're spot on in terms of pricing. What I would want to do, if it meets with your approval, I think you're going to get a lot more activity on the property being just underneath the 550 bubble. I would want to price it at 549.9.
Then you're taking away my negotiating, numbers.
So here's where, look, you're in charge. You're the boss. I'm happy to.
I like to end at that range, but then I'm concerned that if I start at that range, I'm not going to end at that range.
Here's why I think you will. When you price a property, and here's why I think there's absolutely no risk in quote unquote underpricing a property. What I want to get is maximum exposure, and people who are looking for properties are doing it by price point. So if you can be under 550, you're going to have a whole new set of buyers that you've unlocked and interest in the property that you've unlocked that you're not getting above that because they're cut off at 550. So if we can get ourselves into a position where we've got multiple offers on the property, I think the likelihood of them bidding the price higher is significant. And I've seen that happen often. So worst case scenario, what I would do, I would have a very, very, very firm bottom line at the number that we're at. But I think what's likely to happen is you've got people who come in and bid it up higher.
Mm-hmm. I'm just doing some math. I just want to see something.
So I did a net sheet at 535, again, not having all the information that you just gave me. And to just put that into perspective for you, these title charges are higher than they would actually be. Here's why. I use the software package that I use to generate these net sheets are great, but I don't use this company. So this is probably going to be anywhere from $1,500 to $2,000 less than the number that's in there. So you can add that to your bottom line. The recording and transfer fees are that's just, they are what they are. That's going to be irrespective of who you use. So 535 would net you 500,905. Obviously,
go back a second. So title charges are 3,600. I thought they're double that.
What I'm saying is they're going to be less than that.
Okay, and the transfer tax recording is 37, which is on the seller side, correct?
Correct. Yes.
Okay. In Pennsylvania, it's 1% shared, 2% shared. Sorry, and the title insurance is on the buyer side, not on the seller side.
Are you talking to me or are you talking to Avi?
No, I'm telling you that we are accustomed to Pennsylvania.
Ah, right.
That Pennsylvania is, the title insurance is not, the title insurance is the responsibility of the buyer. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
Okay. What's the expected cap rate on investment property in West Palm Beach?
Jason Cross.
What's the expected?
What's the cost? Hold on a second. Jason, I'll have to call you back. Okay, bye. For instance, what's the percentage cap rate in West Palm Beach on investment side? You know that?
I don't know off the top of my head.
All right. Because if I'm looking, if potentially would have an investor looking at this to purchase the property as an investment property,
right?
He would look at a cap rate.
Sure.
So it's important to know what that cap rate. What is the standard, for lack of other words.
Right.
I know between Pennsylvania is different than New York. New York, you talk about 2%.
Sure.
You don't get much more of that because it's a function of per square foot price, real estate taxes, and expenses such condo fees, maintenance fees. It has to be a number in West Palm Beach. I'm sure it's different than Boca or for that matter,
Yeah,
Miami.
the number that's popping in my head right now is somewhere between 3 and 4%, but I don't want to nail myself to the cross on that one because I'm not.
You gotta check because in rough numbers for me, I'm at 3.19%.
3.1.
At 540,000.
Right.
I just did rough numbers real quick here.
Yeah. So I would want to nail that down to know it definitively, but you know, I think that's we're talking about 3%, 4%. But let me just verify that because I don't.
Yeah, verify that because I mean that dictates strategy and pricing.
Sure.
Because you know I can, you know, I'm sure you cannot tell us that this property would be purchased by owner occupied, or it could be you know, one that has you know, might see the cap rate and say, you know what, I'll buy it for the cap rate. Maybe I'll decide not to renew the lease, or yes, because I know what I'm getting. What's my return on investment?
Right. Yeah, I agree. I can't guarantee who the buyer is going to be. I think it may be you know, you may likely have a hybrid of both, an end user and an investor. That's
right. That's why I'm saying even if a hybrid one, you'll have to I need to, you know, I can guess, I can Google that, but if you know that number, you'll share that number with us. That'd be great.
Sure. Yeah. So I'll get back to you later this afternoon with more clarity on that. All right.
All right. So you are saying market price is to break the five to be at the 499. Let's call it for the sake of discussion.
Right.
Asking price. And you think realistically, I got a problem with that number.
What number do you have in mind?
Well, I mean, I was comfortable with you know, in the you know, we wanted our net that we wanted to be at was no less than 5.
Okay.
And so if you work the numbers backwards, you know, you have a sale price of 535.
Right.
You know, we just about there.
Right.
But I think you have to revisit your value because of the additional parking spaces.
Sure. So look, there is no perfect science in terms of pricing, right? The market's going to dictate, you know, where it's. And so I think you're going to get the result that you want faster by having a lower price point, and I think the likelihood of you having more interest and then multiple offers obviously goes up if we can stay underneath that threshold. But to be very candid with you, you also have to look at the inventories that's there. And I still think based on, I mean, you've got a 579, again, these haven't sold, but at the end of the day, I do think you have a superior unit with a better view and then more parking spaces.
So LPH 06, 03, which is a couple of doors down for, no, go back up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
LPH, where was it? LPH, here it is, there. So LPH 03, that one, this is on the market right now?
No, it closed. It sold 538.
So it's closed. So that what's the sale price is 538?
Correct.
Okay, so now that's 538 with 2 parking spaces.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so for me to say I want 550, 545 for the additional parking spaces, I don't think I'm that far-fetched.
I agree with you.
If that one sold for 538 with 2 parking spaces, and I value my parking spaces at $25,000,
mm-hmm.
And if I discount that, even if I discounted it by 10,000, so 538 and 15, I'm at 553. So I'm definitely I don't think my strategy of price is wrong at all.
Well, no, and I think we're really close. So I think the 549.9 gets you to 553 because I think you probably have multiple offers on the property that bid it higher. But again, at 550, I mean.
And by the way, if you look at LPA upper penthouse, okay, 07. There's no difference. That one, I don't know the square footage of that one. Upper 07. Let's click on that for a second.
Sure.
That is what? I'm looking. Go back to the listing.
Detail?
Yes. So detail is it's similarly in square footage. Two parking spaces, 2 2 bath, 2 bedrooms. The ceiling, I don't know if you know that, but the lower penthouse, upper penthouse, and middle penthouse, all 3 of them,
right?
The ceiling height are the same.
Right.
So it's a higher ceiling height than the regular units that are not the penthouse levels. You have some amenities you get with it, with the mini lobby at outside the elevator. They have newspapers, they got donuts, coffee, all that kind of bells and whistles. But in the scheme of things, it's 579, still active. So I'm looking, and I think there, by the way, there being an upper penthouse, you don't get a lot more, but you pay higher HOA because you are the upper penthouse. Right. So if all it takes to float your boat is to say that you're upper penthouse and you're willing to pay $20,000 premium for that, it is what it is. So again, when I take those 3 prices and we average them out or compare apples and apples and add my parking spaces, I'm even more confident that our strategy is a good one.
Right. So with that in mind, are you thinking of a list price of 554.9?
We are currently at 560. I forget already. What were we? What was our price? Remind me.
You were listed at
559 or 569. I forget already.
Here, you were at 577.
577. Okay. Right. And that was an adjustment, by the way, $2,000 adjustment that I made about a month ago. Right. So it's about 579. So again, I'm 579. So if I go to 569, okay, and I break that 7 mark, right? The question is that a winning strategy? You have to tell us that.
My sense would be look, at the end of the day, I think that you're going to get what you want faster by being at under. So my sense to be would be 554.9 and underneath that extra $5,000 threshold. That's what I think gets it done for you.
Okay, that's something Avi and I will have to discuss. Because that leaves us very little, if we end up very close to that, we can live with that. But the question, can we end up that range?
Yeah, absolutely. So,
in other words, we're taking out the negotiation numbers out of the equation, and the question, would that, like you say, or to open up a more attractive, to buyers because of that threshold? And are they going to be buyers that are looking to get to get a 10% discount on the price? And obviously that's not going to happen,
right?
Or are they buyers that say, okay, he's priced it right, and we need to.
Let me just answer that question for you, because the properties that were priced right ahead of this all sold quickly. So again, these are not apples to apples comparisons, but the 529.8 was under contract and sold in 60 days. The upper penthouse 4 at 535 was a cash deal under contract in 37 days. The 538 84 days. Now, what I actually should, that's a misleading. On this last one, it's misleading because it was cumulatively on the market for 263 days.
I see that.
So
yes.
That might be an outlier, and I can't really speak to. Let me see if I can pull, because now I'm curious.
And don't forget, there is, in my opinion, there's value to the fact that you have a tenant in there that's generating you what we have 9 million, 9 months.
Mm-hmm.
So 2850 times 9, that's $25,650 of disposable income, for lack of other words, or at least income until you occupy the property. That it's just semantic at that point. You have to say, okay, I'm willing to wait 9 months, but I'm generating $25,000.
Right, and that's how it needs to be marketed. So I understand that too. Look, I think at the end of the day, you're going to get the result that you want. Period. I think you get there faster by utilizing my strategy. But at the end of the day, look, when we relaunch the marketing on the property, I suspect, now again, there is inventory in the building, and it's, the typical time to market for, the typical, time to contract on a condo like this is 90 days. I think that we will totally refresh this, get this in front of the right buyers. I think it's going to happen faster than that. But honestly, I think as long as we are under the 570 mark, I think we're okay.
Okay.
So if you were able to come in at 569, again, my bias is always going to be candid, to bring it lower, because I think you're going to get more buyers, and I think that gives you the ability to get multiple offers. But at the end of the day, there's the two that are on the market right now are $10,000 more. So to your point, do they really just want to have to say they're on do they really want to pay the extra money for that, or is yours the next logical step? We got to find that out.
Okay, I understand. That's the food for thought that we have to make a decision here in the next, at least 24 hours. I like to make a decision.
Sure. So let me say this in closing. So I can have my photographer and team out there. They book relatively fast, and we've got a backlog. So today's what, Thursday?
Right.
I can book them for next week. Probably, I don't know. I'm going off the top of my head here. Probably like Wednesday. Would that work for your tenant?
I need to contact them. I don't know.
Okay.
I didn't get that far because, as you know, the listing just a couple of days ago went off the market.
Right.
I mean, we ended up. And by the way, just for not that it's I already confronted them, but I would always exclude them from the deal. So I'd be upfront.
You would always exclude them from the deal, meaning what?
Well, I mean, I'm going to reserve their name because they might.
Oh yeah, sure, of course.
Yeah, because I have a standing offer for them to buy the property.
Right. Understood.
They just not made that decision. So I would be upfront with you, letting you know that we would exclude them from the commission, basically.
Right. Okay. Well,
all right. So Avi and I will have to talk about that, Chris. We will get back to you no later than tomorrow.
Okay.
In the meantime, if you want to, just so I know that numbers, if you can find me what's the going cap rate as investment in West Palm Beach. Also legitimize the value of those additional parking spaces, so you have it's for your benefit, if anything, so what you can you can speak to.
Sure.
And the fact that that there's a tenant there that has the March 2019 expiration,
mm-hmm.
which either we will renew or it'll be up to they don't have an automatic renewal, so it's not it's the future owner decision, but they will renew if they want to, and everything stays in the apartment except their personal property. And I think the only thing they might remove was the lights they put. I'm not sure. I think they put the lights over the island in the kitchen, but I can't. I don't remember for a fact. But the window treatments, all that came with the apartment.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
And a brand new washer and dryer. You know, up-to-date service on everything. All the appliances, everything is up to date. What's that, Avi?
Is the wine cooler.
What's that?
Yeah. Wine cooler is part of the apartment, correct. On top of the refrigerator, there's a wine cooler in the apartment.
Okay.
Okay.
All right,
okay, Chris. So
here's what I'll do, just so we're all on the same page. I will find out the cap rate, so we know what that is definitively. I'll get a evaluation in terms of the parking spots. I will additionally email you the listing agreement so that you have it and can look it over.
Sure.
It's very, obviously it's a standard FAR bar contract, but from the minute you say you're in, I will book the photographer. We'll get the ball rolling, and I suspect we can have everything up and running and on the market by next weekend. If that.
Okay, and make sure that take any language out that has to do with the lease rate, lease commission, because I don't want to find myself in a situation if I have to, we go down the road.
That's fair.
Do that.
Understood.
And obviously we also traditionally, just to give you a quick background, and I don't mean to promote myself, but I am a realtor, a commercial realtor in Pennsylvania. Is one of my expertise, let's call it. Okay. And I also both my brother and I are invested in real estate both in Florida and in Pennsylvania. And I also have another business that I flip homes. So with all that said, I don't traditionally pay that annoying $280 fee or whatever that is from the realtor office, which is strictly a money generator. It has no business being there.
Yeah. So first of all, just so you know, I don't ever pass that on, and it's not 200. It's actually 390. But
right here it's 280. So I know it's 300 something.
But just to be very upfront, I don't pass that on. I love that.
That's very annoying.
Yeah. No, I if I was in your shoes, I wouldn't pay it either. So no, we're
wonderful. Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah. No.
Avi, questions on your end?
I'm sorry.
Avi, any questions?
No.
Okay.
So let me just wrap it up by saying this. First of all, I want to be your go-to realtor in South Florida, period.
That's great.
So I want to get this done. I look forward to doing some business here in the future. And in the meantime, I'll answer those questions, have the listing agreement sent to you, and look forward to connecting with you in the next 24 hours or so. Sound good?
Sounds good. Perfect.
All right, my friend. Thank you. Any questions for me in closing?
No, I think we covered a lot of information. I appreciate your time and your efforts.
Awesome. Very good. I'll talk to you soon.
Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Avi.